Have you ever wondered why there's an entire book in the Bible that reads like passionate love poetry? A book so intimate that some ancient rabbis believed you had to be at least 30 years old to read it. Today we're diving deep into one of the most controversial, misunderstood, and beautifully crafted books in the entire Bible, the Song of Songs. And I guarantee by the end of this video, you'll understand why this collection of love poems has captivated readers for over 2,000 years, and why it holds secrets that could transform how you view love, relationships, and even your spiritual life. But first, let me ask you something. When was the last time you read something so beautiful, so passionate, that it literally took your breath away? The Song of Songs does exactly that. It's been called the most beautiful love story ever written, yet it's tucked away in the middle of your Bible between Ecclesiastes and Isaiah. Many people skip right over it, not knowing they're missing one of literature's greatest treasures. Here's what's absolutely fascinating. This isn't just any love story. This is a book that has sparked debates among scholars, theologians, and readers for centuries. Some say it's purely about human romantic love. Others argue it's entirely allegorical, representing God's love for his people. And here's the kicker. They might both be right. The Song of Songs, also known as the Song of Solomon, consists of 8 chapters of the most intimate, passionate, and beautifully crafted poetry you'll find anywhere in ancient literature. Written around 3,000 years ago, it tells the story of a love affair between a young woman, often called the Shulamite, and her beloved, traditionally identified as King Solomon himself. But this isn't your typical love story. From the very first verse, we're thrown into a world of sensual imagery, metaphorical language, and emotional intensity that would make modern romance novels seem tame by comparison. The opening lines immediately set the tone with the woman declaring her desire for her beloved's kisses, comparing them to fine wine. What makes this book so unique is its structure. It's not a linear narrative like most biblical books. Instead, it reads like a collection of intimate conversations, passionate declarations, and poetic exchanges between two lovers. Sometimes we hear from the woman, sometimes from the man, and occasionally from a chorus of voices representing friends or companions. The woman's voice dominates much of the book, which is revolutionary for ancient literature. In a time when women's voices were rarely heard in public discourse, the Song of Songs gives us a female protagonist who is confident, passionate, and unashamed of her desires. She initiates conversations, expresses her longing, and celebrates her own beauty and sexuality. Let's break down what actually happens in this remarkable book. The story begins with the woman expressing her intense desire for her beloved. She describes feeling like an outsider, darkened by the sun from working in vineyards, yet beautiful and worthy of love. This sets up one of the book's central themes, the tension between feeling inadequate and recognizing one's own worth. The man responds with lavish praise, comparing her to a mare among Pharaoh's chariots and promising to adorn her with gold and silver. Their dialogue continues with increasingly intimate and passionate exchanges, filled with natural imagery, gardens, vineyards, doves, gazelles, and flowing streams. One of the most striking scenes occurs in chapter 2, where the woman describes her beloved as a gazelle leaping across the mountains and hills to reach her. She speaks of him standing outside her window, calling for her to come away with him because winter has passed and spring has arrived. This passage has become one of the most quoted sections of the book, capturing the urgency and excitement of new love. Chapter 3 presents us with one of the book's most mysterious and debated passages, the woman's dream sequence. She describes searching through the city streets at night, looking for her beloved, asking the watchmen if they've seen him. When she finally finds him, she brings him to her mother's house. This scene raises questions about the relationship's status and the challenges the lovers face. The 4th chapter contains some of the most elaborate and sensual poetry in the entire book. The man describes his beloved's beauty in detail, using metaphors that might seem strange to modern readers, but were deeply meaningful in ancient Middle Eastern culture. He compares her hair to a flock of goats descending from Mount Gilead, her teeth to newly shorn sheep, and her lips to a scarlet thread. What's remarkable about these descriptions is their use of nature imagery. The lovers consistently describe each other using references to gardens, wildlife, landscapes, and natural phenomena. This isn't coincidental. It connects their love to the created world, suggesting that romantic love is part of the divine design of creation. Chapter 5 presents another mysterious scene, where the woman describes her beloved knocking at her door during the night. By the time she opens it, he's gone, leaving only the fragrance of myrrh on the door handles. She searches for him again, this time encountering the city guards who beat her and strip away her cloak. This passage has puzzled interpreters for centuries, with various theories about its meaning. The 6th chapter shows us the power of love to overcome obstacles. The man declares that his beloved is unique among all women, comparing her to the dawn, the moon, and the sun. The imagery becomes increasingly cosmic, suggesting that their love has significance beyond just their personal relationship. Chapter 7 contains some of the book's most passionate poetry, with the man praising his beloved's physical beauty in explicit detail. The woman responds with equal passion, expressing her desire to belong completely to her beloved, and inviting him to go with her to the countryside where they can express their love freely. The final chapter brings the book full circle, with themes of the permanence and power of love. The woman makes one of the book's most famous declarations, stating that love is as strong as death, and that many waters cannot quench love, nor floods sweep it away. This passage has become central to understanding the book's ultimate message about the nature of true love. Throughout all 8 chapters, we encounter recurring themes and symbols. Gardens represent intimacy and fertility. Military imagery suggests the power and conquest associated with love. References to Solomon's wealth and kingdom may indicate the royal setting of the story, or they might symbolize the richness and value of true love. The question of interpretation has fascinated readers throughout history. Jewish tradition has long read the book as an allegory of God's relationship with Israel. In this interpretation, the male lover represents God, while the female represents the Jewish people. Their passionate exchanges symbolize the covenant relationship between the divine and the chosen people. Christian interpretation has traditionally seen the book as representing Christ's love for the church. The bridegroom becomes Jesus, while the bride represents the Christian community. This allegorical reading has dominated Christian scholarship for centuries, though it's not without controversy. However, many modern scholars argue for a literal interpretation, seeing the Song of Songs as a celebration of human romantic and sexual love within the context of committed relationship. This view suggests that the book validates physical intimacy and passion as good gifts from God, challenging any notion that spirituality requires rejecting physical pleasure. The beauty of the Song of Songs may be that it works on multiple levels simultaneously. It can be read as a magnificent piece of love poetry, celebrating human romance while also serving as a metaphor for divine love. This multi-layered meaning may explain why it has remained relevant across different cultures and time periods. The language and imagery of the Song of Songs have influenced literature, art, and music throughout Western civilization. Countless poets, painters, and composers have drawn inspiration from its vivid metaphors and passionate expressions. The book's celebration of love has provided a vocabulary for expressing romantic feelings that continues to resonate today. One aspect that makes the Song of Songs particularly relevant for contemporary readers is its portrayal of mutuality in romantic relationships. Both the man and woman express desire, both praise each other's beauty, and both take initiative in pursuing their relationship. This egalitarian approach to romance was revolutionary for its time and remains refreshing today. The book also addresses the challenges that lovers face. The repeated scenes of separation, searching, and obstacles suggest that even the most passionate love requires commitment and perseverance. The city guards who beat the woman, the little foxes that spoil the vineyards, and the delays and misunderstandings between the lovers all point to real-world difficulties that any relationship must navigate. Another striking feature is the book's confident celebration of physical beauty and sexual desire. In cultures that often shame physical pleasure or treat sexuality as somehow separate from spirituality, the Song of Songs presents a radically different perspective. It suggests that physical attraction and sexual fulfillment are not obstacles to spiritual life, but expressions of divine creativity and blessing. The woman's voice in particular challenges traditional assumptions about female sexuality and agency. She is never portrayed as passive or merely reactive. Instead, she actively pursues what she desires, celebrates her own beauty, and expresses her needs and wants clearly. This portrayal offers a model of healthy feminine sexuality that transcends cultural stereotypes. The seasonal imagery throughout the book connects the lover's relationship to the natural cycles of growth, dormancy, and renewal. Love is portrayed not as a static condition, but as a dynamic force that experiences seasons of intensity and quiet, presence and absence, fulfillment and longing. Modern relationship psychology has found surprising wisdom in the Song of Songs. The book's portrayal of the back-and-forth nature of intimate relationships, the importance of both pursuit and space, and the connection between physical and emotional intimacy aligns with contemporary understanding of healthy romantic partnerships. The book's emphasis on commitment and exclusivity also speaks to current discussions about the nature of love. The woman's declaration that she belongs to her beloved and he to her, along with the statement that love is as strong as death, suggests that true love involves complete mutual surrender and permanent commitment. Perhaps most significantly, the Song of Songs offers hope for those seeking meaningful romantic connection. In a culture often cynical about love and relationships, this ancient book presents love as powerful, beautiful, and ultimately triumphant. It suggests that the longing for intimate connection that most people experience is not foolish or naive, but reflects something fundamental about human nature and divine design. For those who read this book allegorically, it provides insight into the nature of spiritual relationship. Whether interpreted as God's love for Israel or Christ's love for the Church, it suggests that divine love is not distant or abstract, but intimate, passionate, and deeply personal. This interpretation has provided comfort and inspiration for countless believers throughout history. The Song of Songs also addresses the relationship between love and beauty. Both lovers repeatedly praise each other's physical appearance, suggesting that attraction to beauty is natural and good. However, the beauty described goes beyond mere physical appearance to include character, voice, presence, and the indefinable quality that makes someone uniquely attractive to their beloved. The book's treatment of desire is particularly noteworthy. Rather than viewing desire as problematic or dangerous, the Song of Songs presents it as a powerful force that drives people toward connection and fulfillment. The key seems to be not the suppression of desire, but its proper direction toward committed mutual relationship. As we reach the conclusion of our journey through this remarkable book, it's worth reflecting on why the Song of Songs continues to captivate readers after 3 millennia. Perhaps it's because the fundamental human experiences it describes, longing, attraction, love, commitment, and the search for intimate connection, remain constant across cultures and centuries. The book offers no easy answers or simple formulas for successful relationships. Instead, it presents love as complex, challenging, and ultimately mysterious. It acknowledges both the ecstasy and the difficulty of intimate relationship, while maintaining an ultimately optimistic view of love's power and permanence. Whether you read the Song of Songs as literal romantic poetry, spiritual allegory, or both, it challenges readers to take love seriously. It suggests that the capacity for passionate, committed love is one of humanity's greatest gifts, and that such love reflects something essential about the nature of reality itself. The Song of Songs reminds us that love stories matter. In a world often focused on power, achievement, and material success, this book insists that the quiet, private dramas of human hearts are equally significant. It validates the importance of romantic love while pointing toward the deeper spiritual realities that such love may represent. So the next time you encounter the Song of Songs in your Bible, don't skip over it. Take time to appreciate its beautiful language, profound insights, and timeless wisdom about the most powerful force in human experience. You might discover that this ancient love story has something important to say about your own journey toward meaningful connection and lasting love. Subscribe for more insights and let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Until next time, stay blessed.